Hello and happy Monday. I'm so glad that you're here to join me, and I hope that you're ready to do some yoga. All that you need for this practice is some comfy clothes and your yoga mat. We're going to stay pretty low to the ground today, so if you're a little bit sore or tired, have no fear. We're going to take it really easy. So whether this is your first or your 100th practice, I'm sure that you'll find something here for you. So we're going to start out today in a comfortable seated position. We're going to sit up tall, close the eyes gently, stack the head over your heart and the heart over pelvis, pull the shoulders back, and listen to the sound of your breath for just a few rounds here. Noticing as we inhale, the abdomen rises, the chest expands, and as we exhale, the chest contracts and the belly button melts back towards the spine. Taking just a few more rounds here, noticing how you feel in the body today, noticing where you are in that breath, whether your breathing is shallow or whether it's deep and steady. We'll see if we can draw that inhale out to the length of our exhale, bringing our attention back to that long straight line in the spine. We'll take one more round of breath here. And on your next inhale, you can keep the eyes closed here or maybe bat them gently open. On an inhale, we'll sweep both arms overhead. And as we exhale, we'll let them float down to the side, moving slowly. Sweeping the arms up overhead. Exhaling down to the sides. Noticing that deep, steady breath. We'll take this one more time. Inhaling, sweeping both arms overhead. We'll exhale them down, and we're going to plant the right hand. We'll send the left fingertips right past the ear, and as we exhale, we'll bend into that right elbow, keeping that left knee and hip heavy as we reach out of that hip, finding a long line all the way out through our fingertips, and maybe we send that gaze underneath that left arm. Inhaling deeply, breathing into that left rib cage. On your next inhale, we'll sweep back up through center, planting the left hand, sending the right fingertips right past the ear, same as the other side. We'll exhale, bend into this side body stretch, heavy through the right. And this is Mondo. Hopefully he's the only one you'll see. Reaching out of that hip, we'll inhale back through center, and we'll walk the fingertips. I'll turn so that you can see here. We'll walk the fingertips behind, pinkies to touch, pulling the shoulder blades together, lifting through the chest, lifting the chin, and then exhaling to release, bringing the hands to the knees. We'll let the head, neck, and shoulders be heavy, finding a seated cat-cow here. We'll inhale, lifting the chest, lifting the chin. Exhale, rounding through the shoulders, catching some weight here in the hands as you really round through the spine. We'll take this slowly a few more times at the pace of your own breath. Gently flexing out the spine. And then on your next inhale, sitting up tall, we'll sweep both arms up overhead. Exhale them down to the sides. We'll make our way to all fours. Stacking your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees, tops of the feet to the floor, spreading the fingers wide, grounding down through the tops of the feet, all 10 of the toenails, and grounding down through all 10 of your fingers, pressing out through the shoulders, gaze down between the hands, finding a long, straight line here in the spine. On your next inhale, we'll let the belly drop, the tailbone, the crown of the head lift. On an exhale, the tailbone, the crown of the head drop as we press out through the shoulders, out of the hands, out of the tops of the feet. And we'll take a few more rounds here at the pace of your own breath, exhaling to round. And inhaling to lift. And we'll take one more round wherever you are and meet back in flat back. And then we'll walk the hands about one handprint forward. We'll tuck the toes and keeping the knees bent to start, we'll send the hips up high. Coming into sort of a crouching downward dog here, taking a moment to notice the spine, pressing out of the hands here so you feel the muscles of the back lengthening, lifting through the hips. Don't worry about whether your heels come close to the ground. And whenever you're ready, you can begin to pedal out the feet, straightening through the legs, keeping that awareness in that spine, that pressing of the hands, that lifting of the hips. We'll take one more on either side and then come to rest for a round of breath here. Maybe the head hangs loose. Nod the head yes. Shake the head no. And we'll take one more round of breath here. And on an exhale, we'll come forward to plank. And we'll drop down slowly to the belly, keeping the elbows tucked in, bringing the tops of the feet to the floor. And we'll inhale, lifting for baby cobra. Exhaling the forehead to the mat. We'll inhale, lifting maybe a little bit higher. Exhaling the forehead to the mat. And last time here, we inhale, lifting just a little higher. And exhale, coming through all fours, pressing back up to downward dog. We'll take a round of breath here, and then we'll drop down to the knees. Walk the knees back a step or two, and we're going to drop the chest and the forehead down towards the mat. Sending the hips up high, reaching the fingertips, clawing them out forward, finding a stretch here in puppy pose. Taking a couple rounds of deep breath as we melt the heart down towards the mat, the forehead down towards the mat. Inhaling to find a little more space, and exhaling to melt a little bit deeper. Finding that stretch in the upper back and in your shoulders. We'll take one more round of breath here. And on an inhale, we'll slide through, coming down to the belly, bringing the elbows underneath the shoulders. And bringing the arms parallel. And this is called Sphinx Pose, so imagine a majestic sphinx here, pressing through the elbows, lifting through the chest. Gaze slightly past the top of your mat. Finding that deep breath. We'll take one more round here. And on your next exhale, we'll gently release the forehead down to the mat. Bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, press back through all fours, cross at the ankles and send it back to a seat. If you need to scoot a little forward on your mat, go ahead. We're going to send both legs out long, a little wider than your mat here, maybe a little wider if that's comfortable, but nothing too crazy. We're not trying to do the splits here. We'll sit up tall, pulling the shoulders back, inhaling, sweeping both arms overhead. We'll exhale, turning towards that right foot and letting the nose melt towards the knee. Taking just a moment here, a round of breath. We'll inhale, slide it up, sweep both arms overhead. Exhale, nose towards the left knee, turning that upper torso towards the left. Inhaling, sweeping up through center, and exhaling, coming right down the middle, just to where your hands are comfortable, where we can find a lift in the chest, pull the shoulders back. Find that stretch in the inner thighs, in the hamstrings, keeping the toes dialed back towards the face. We'll take one more round of breath here. And on an inhale, slowly slide it back up. We'll bring the soles of the feet together, finding Cobblers Pose here. We'll interlace the fingers, wrap them around the toes. If you have a lot of space here, you can walk the heels in closer to the body. If you need more space here, you can walk the heels a little further away. And finding a lift here in the chest, finding that tall, straight posture, letting the knees be heavy, opening in the hips, finding space and creating space with our breath, making sure that we're still keeping with that steady inhale and that steady exhale. We'll take just one more round of breath. And on an exhale, go ahead and release. We'll bring both feet to the floor, knees bent, and slowly walk it all the way back down to the back. And we'll walk the feet about hips width apart. And on an exhale, we can bring the hands to the body, or maybe the arms can be out long, whatever feels best here. We're going to windshield wiper the legs a few rounds, exhaling, letting both knees fall over to the right. Inhaling through center and exhaling, letting both knees fall over to the left. Feeling as those bones move in the sockets, as the muscles of the buttocks roll across the yoga mat, giving ourselves a little massage here. Moving slowly with intention to the movement of your breath. Taking one more round on either side, we'll bring both knees back to center. We'll walk the feet back towards the hips. Bring both arms to the sides and walk the fingertips towards the heels as close as we can. And grounding down through the shoulders. On an inhale, pressing through the soles of the feet, all four corners. We're going to inhale, peel the hips up off the mat and press them towards the ceiling. Exhaling, we'll release the hips back down. And just take a couple more rounds here. Slowly inhaling, peeling the hips up off the mat. And exhaling, letting them come all the way back down. We'll take one more round wherever you are, inhaling, peeling the hips up. And exhaling them down. And we'll bend the knees, bring both knees into the chest. giving them a squeeze here. If it feels good, you can inhale, lift head, neck, and shoulders, knees towards the nose. Imagining space between each vertebrae. Exhaling back down. We'll gently release, sending both feet down to the bottom of the mat. About as wide as the mat, your toes falling out, heels coming in. We'll let the hands rest open, palms to the ceiling, a little wider than you might usually. Gently close the eyes here and start to notice the breath. We'll notice if we've lost that deep and steady breath that we started with today. Inhaling, feeling the abdomen rise, the chest rise. And exhaling, the chest contracts and the belly button melts down towards the spine. We'll notice where our thoughts are today. Acknowledge them and let them pass like ships on a river or clouds on a sunny day. Always coming back to that steady breath. Letting the body relax here. Letting the body melt heavy into the mat. We'll take just a couple more rounds of breath here. We'll begin to bring some movement to the body, wiggling the fingers and wiggling the toes, rolling out the wrists and rolling out the ankles. And finally, on an inhale, reaching both arms up overhead for a full body stretch. Pointing the toes towards me and flexing the toes towards you. We'll exhale the arms back down to the sides and go ahead and roll over to your left side. Stay there for just a couple more rounds of breath, letting the body wake up slowly as if from a nap. And when you're ready, keeping the eyes closed or heavy, make your way up to a comfortable cross-legged seat, stacking the head over heart and heart over pelvis, pulling the shoulders back. When you get there, we'll take a deep round of breath, inhaling through the nose, and sighing and exhale out through the mouth. We'll let the chin fall to the chest. On an inhale, we'll rock the right ear over the right shoulder. And on an exhale, we'll let the chin come back down to the chest. On an inhale, we'll rock left ear over left shoulder. And exhale, chin to chest. You can keep with this easy rocking movement here. Or maybe, if it feels good, you can begin to take some full circles, being careful of the back of the neck and maybe spending a little bit of extra time on the places that sound a little bit crunchy. Whenever you're ready, make sure to turn your circle a few times in the other direction. And finally, we'll meet with the chin to chest. We'll inhale, bringing head over heart. We'll go ahead and bring the hands to interlace right behind the back of the head. Not placing any pressure or weight here. We exhale to round through the upper body, elbows move together. Inhaling, we come up tall, the elbows come out wide towards the back of the room. Exhaling to round forward through the spine, elbows together. And inhaling, elbows towards the back of the room, wide chest, wide collarbones. Last time here, we exhale and inhale. On your next exhale, we'll send the arms out long, float them down to the sides. We'll take one more round of breath here together. A deep inhale through the nose. As we sweep the arms overhead, we think of something we're grateful for. The hands come together as we exhale, bringing them down to heart center. The chin falls to chest. We thank ourselves for taking this time out of our day to take care of our body and our mind. We thank each other for coming here to practice, to share this space, and to support the community. And thank you for being here to practice with me. Namaste.